especially on Sundays, when I don't have my kids.
Yeah.
Or they're just lazy.
Yeah.
I'm horizontal all the time.
Right.
Sleep, wake up, read a little bit. I don't even follow the news.
Yeah.
It's just all pleasure,
Yeah.
pleasurable reading.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how I spend my
It's
Sundays.
needed, you know, with a very exhausting week, working from Monday to Saturday, it's good to just take your Saturdays and just relax as much as you can. So it's good to know you had a restful weekend, which you deserve. Yes, yeah. You need to gain your energy back and all of that. Ibrahim, did you go to Katong or were you at your shop? Where were you up to?
No, this weekend I was throughout at home.
Okay.
Although on Saturday I went to
Brikama?
Brikama.
Yeah.
I was in Brikama. Oh, how did you know?
Don't worry about
Singadika?
we never reveal our sources.
Oh, really?
I was in
sources.
Brikama, but just for a few hours. Then I went home. I don't know, for some reason, you know, I was glued to my TV throughout
on
the weekend, from Saturday to Sunday.
Okay.
You know, I think I watched TV from the morning till evening.
Oh, wow.
You know, I'm a fan of FBI Files.
Wow.
Now I've exhausted all those episodes. Now I have moved crimes, you know, something like
crime scene investigation.
Exactly. You know,
Forensic
the Manson
stuff.
walls, you know, so
Wow.
now I've moved again. So I watched all throughout the weekend. I was watching those movies.
Actually, I don't like FBI movies. I don't like action movies and stuff. I just like happy endings, happily ever afters. You know, those are the kind of
romantic
movies,
stuff.
fairy tale movies. Those are my kind of movies. Mr. Butch, what are your kind of movies?
No, you see, when I was your age, or perhaps slightly younger,
Yeah.
I was into the same thing. We did
Action.
the CSI.
CSI.
And that sort
Yeah.
of thing. I'm into all sorts, thrillers, drama. I like stuff like, or adaptations of great books. You've got a few. They adapt certain great books and then you see them on TV.
For example,
like
currently I'm watching a movie called Bridgerton. There's a book.
Okay,
So there's a book that they just, you know, put into, you know, real life action, and it's an amazing movie. So I'm into those. I think action movies with the killings and everything.
Yeah, and you know, there was a time I don't watch Nigerian movies.
Why is that?
But now, I don't know, for some reason, again, they are coming back. I watch a lot of Nigerian movies. And the movies that I watch, you will be surprised to know they are sacrifice movies. More of how to get well. I mean, a lot of cults, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of, you know, getting a lot of money. I don't know, for some reason, I'm watching it.
This is very interesting. because with me, some time back, my nieces tried to get me to like Nigerian movies, so I tried watching them. I can't. I find them.
Sometimes I think they are too good to be true.
Okay, for me,
I can't watch them. Aesthetically.
When I grew up, I stopped watching Nigerian movies because I feel like it's too easy. You can always predict the ending. It's such a waste of time. And most of these Nigerian movies are actually replicated. It's just the same thing over and over using different actors and actresses. So at some point, I felt like Nigerian movies are like is a scam or something. I'm not talking about all movies. It's not all of them, but a lot of them. That's how I just...
The thing is, it's not necessarily a scam. It just appeals to a certain audience.
Yes.
It just depends on the appeal.
Yeah.
It's a popular thing, so, you know, your common person will probably like it. But you also have a huge constituency who wouldn't find that satisfying aesthetically as drama. I don't find.
I don't also buy Bollywood because of a lot of crying and singing.
No, and singing at the same time.
Joy wreck.
Actions that you know definitely these actions are not possible. You cannot.
I suppose they will call this sort of thing magical realism.
Yes.
There's something like that in literature, magical realism. So maybe this is on the screen, magical realism on the screen.
Lolu Bollywood rek la am.
Bollywood.
O nga jump fi, nga jump nale, nga muna joge fi, nga daw be basse legi nga save sa dom in less than 5 minutes. Who are they fooling?
Well, like Mr. Mood said,
no, that's
it's
the reality.
a thing in literature. You know, it's okay.
So you have how to read Lingla Won.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes,
but that's really your job. So watch a drama, you're talking I'm going to give whatever, who decipher, who understand what's going on. So you have some work to do when you make stuff like that.
Yeah.
More, I love watching, documentaries.
FBI
is regularly who said on crimes in the Manson world. You are the Satan, because you know
introduced to something new. True. Maybe.
Why don't you mix up to me? You read fiction. You fiction, novels.
Yeah.
I'm going to read more depth to you. Yeah, that you see, certain experiences, they change you. You might not be aware of it, but it's going on. You know what I mean? Just like your blood is running right now, but you don't feel it. So there's so much happening in you that you don't feel it, but it is. So it's beneficial to mix it up. I'm going to have to cry, whatever, and I'm so nice.
The last I enjoyed Indian movie, the time of Jimmy, Acha, Jimmy. You know that Jimmy?
Mr. But you know Jimmy Acha, right?
No, Acha.
Okay. Jimmy Acha.
Amitabh Bachchan.
I know the name, of course. I know Coco Yagana.
I am a disco
dancer. I am a disco dancer. That's the one.
You know the movie?
I'm getting Julie. I'm not knowing Julie.
Julie Machechere.
In the 70s. In the 70s. You don't need to be there to know it.
Yeah. But moving on, guys, let's move on to current affairs. We've had enough fun already. We've had enough fun. But we'll start with sad news. A state media in Iran have reported the death of the president and the foreign affairs minister. And let us remember that 2 to 3 weeks ago, the foreign minister was in the Gambia and he had a bilateral meeting with our foreign minister, Momodou Tangara. And it's really, really unfortunate that through this helicopter crash, with that foggy weather, they had a helicopter crash. And yesterday, all of these rescues coming from different countries.
That's two of them.
That's two of them. Different countries offered their rescue services to actually look for the helicopter. So they've seen the remains from the helicopter crash and officially declared their death. We are sending condolences to the people of Iran. And I'm sure the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will soon issue a statement in relation to this particular tragic incident, Mr. Mboj.
Yes, I'm sure Dr. Tangara must be in total shock.
Yes.
Because only recently they had sat together up close, signing things and talking and all the rest of it. Yes, it is rather unfortunate. Just that sometimes these things happen and you do not know how, why. Not long ago, really, I remember when we did a story on the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria and all the high-profile personalities, helicopter crash in the U.S. So sometimes these things happen. I was talking to somebody this morning who said to me, how could they allow the Prime Minister, the Foreign Affairs Minister, and all the dignitaries in one helicopter? But I do not know. I heard Adek saying this morning that you had a few helicopters. I haven't got the details yet regarding the actual crash, what actually happened. But this is it. Everybody must be in shock. Even earlier I said to Adek, I hope that the, what do you call it, conspiracy mongers haven't started. Oh, they've already started. It's ask Benjamin Netanyahu. Ask this.
To be honest,
ask that.
I'm sorry,
so
but when it happened, I don't know. I had my doubts. The moment that it was reported. At the time, their deaths have not been declared. But the moment I heard that, due to foggy weather, there was a helicopter. The helicopter is missing and all of that. I started thinking so wild. But later, I'm like, okay, calm down. I just decided to calm myself.
So you just automatically made the association.
To be honest.
But afterwards, you realized that there was an error in the thinking.
Yes.
Any automatic connection, there's necessarily an error because what is the evidence connecting it? There must be a bridge.
So but I'm just being honest about my thoughts at the time.
Well,
that's good.
thinking about, Iran, and previous involvement in certain things and, the situation of Iran. once such kind of thing happen, the mental picture that you have might be there is a conspiracy or something. But, you know, we cannot conclude on that. We need to give chance to investigation. Once they are done, then I think something will come out of it. If at all it's an accident or a crash, you know, then we will all know. But, I mean, sometimes these things, they happen, Jennifer. I understand, you know, why you're saying that. You know, once you hear such kind of, you know, incidents, the thinking that you start having in you, it's those kind of things.
Yeah. Well, remember the head of Wagner? When his helicopter crashed, immediately everybody went to Putin. Putin must have done it. And still now, I think most people will think that Putin did it, really. So this is it. So your thinking is not entirely wrong, isn't it? But it's simply that one needs, really, that evidential, I call it, that evidential bridge to connect it. In the absence of any of that, I really cannot make the connection.
You can't.
All I can say is maybe.
Yeah, maybe is the only word.
So you suspend judgment. Yes. That's a good quality in a human being. You suspend judgment until you have something solid on which to base your judgment.
And also, Mr. Mboch, I've seen, I can't conclude because I know you're going to come after me if I say that I've seen a trend in helicopter crashes. You're going to come after me and tell me, where's your source? Which one and which one? Why is the reason? Why are you saying it this way? So I don't know how to put it exactly. But, you know, when this happened, I thought of also Kobe Bryant, you know, the basketball player and his daughter,
and the daughter,
when they died. So I don't know, should helicopters at some point be remodeled or something? Because they're really fragile, okay? They're so fragile, really. Why can't you use a private jet? I don't know. Maybe it's because of the proximity of where you're heading to or something.
The distance,
but I feel like helicopters are really risky, you know.
Let's adjust our lens here.
Okay, that's why I was like, let me play safe.
Yeah. Because all the ones that you've mentioned, the incidents, the cases that you've mentioned, they've been high profile. High profile. Yes? Yeah. So you've been seeing it in the news, banging on in the news so much. So you've just named a few. But just imagine, in the world, how many helicopter trips are going on? Potentially thousands. You know how? Yeah. Can you imagine? You can only name a few high-profile cases. Yeah,
but it's
so let us be careful.
I'm sure worried
because I'm sure within the industry they're adjusting.
The helicopter.
You have different manufacturers
of helicopter. Yeah.
Absolutely. So there's something going on. It's just that human beings, once in a while, you're going to make mistakes.
You are going to make mistakes.
Disaster is going to come to you.
And also, if this is a foggy weather, was there no early warning?
Once in a while.
I'm asking about that. Like, where are the early warning systems to know that, you know, the weather, you know, there's a tendency of a foggy weather and all of that? I don't know.
We need to know whether, was it a mechanical error or human error?
All of that.
You have these differences.
Issues.
So there are certain details that we need
to be able to conclude.
But Mr. Mboch, it's a very complicated one.
No,
you have to put all these things into place before you conclude.
Very true.
One just has to be realistic. It's not complicated as such. It's just not, it's embedded within a certain context. All we're asking questions about the context, and that's what one should do. Without context, you don't really understand the thing. You know what I mean? It is really context that gives it meaning, that provides understanding.
So, gentlemen, we'll now go for a short break.
Okay.
We'll now go for a short break, and when we come back, the program continues. Stay with us.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell mooy suñu boss. QCell mooy suñu boss. QCell mooy suñu boss. Go, ebe dawa full network suda tili QCell. Ni lafta diamla wati jamala mune diata QCell. Most reliable network dumala geta wati QCell. Wo quality man nyon soda jam ona manke QCell. Hanibe wulo ni farole kono walante be bako na jala fayola network ko se taria QCell suñu boss. Nyo finjega indi 3G ñu delu taxi 4G plus and now we bring you 5G. 5G. First and only 5G provider. Itella follow adi doron nesa keno. Gambia bela nyon tawa fele QCell. Ko fasunta buka busi QCell. Itella molti milka kukutol nati Gambia. QCell made a lori la kilianol yele imanjina amanda wala itella ka quality dila dadi ma itelle silo wala wodol mume be keno ma. QCell sunibus. QCell sunibus. QCell sunibus. QCell sunibus. Connection of a bambandi QCell sunibus. QCell most innovative QCell sunibus.
You asked for it, and QCell is giving it to you with our new and improved Sunyu Bundle Mega Promo. Now you can get more data at cheaper prices. Buy any of our bundle packages and
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. And I am Jenna Bosonko. I'm here with my co-host, Ibrahim Abalde, and our guest, Mr. Momodumbo.
Yes.
So
before we go on the bar story, let's talk about the foil.
What story?
The bar story.
We are already on current affairs.
Okay,
so
let's talk about the foil coup at Democratic Republic of Congo.
Okay, the bar story.
Yes,
Where man ninko wahe momo. Lutanga opal.
Wow, bar lañ fa wax di.
Wow, go ahead.
So, I mean, gis nañ foil coup bi nga xamne xew na fofu ci Democratic Republic of Congo. Another coup. Surprise with that.
No. Di lolu kay nga Congo DRC mu ngi bari problem, especially in the east. So, fofu mu ngi so unstable. Yeah, one would say no surprises there. Foil coup, they call it. It hasn't quite succeeded. So, yes, for Mom, it's a complete mess. All the time, the UN and all these international bodies, be DRC or even Sudan or all the rest of it, with that M23 rebels. Rwanda, they support. So, for me, tense. It's really, it seems as if nobody really has the answers to it. All diplomatic mission women work. So that's a huge problem. I don't know. It's a messy country. It's a messy place. Sorry.
Also in Chad, you know, the presidential elections, there are a lot of queries about the way the election was held, because certain observers, especially from the EU, were denied accreditation to actually come and observe the elections. So currently, there's a court proceeding that is supposed to take place when it comes to how the opposition is not accepting the results, because it's alleged that the counting did not even complete at the level of the IEC in the country. And then Derby decided that the election results should be announced, and he's the winner, you know. So a lot of people were hopeful about the fact that there will be some form of democratic, transition, considering how his father died, and then he took over in a coup. And then at this point, it was expected anyway.
That he was going to win.
Yes.
Everybody really expected that.
It's either ways he was going to make it.
It's easier really for the incumbent to win. I mean, this one has been a very interesting one. Some people call it the dynastic coup.
Yeah.
That's really what he did when his father died. Idris Deby.
Yeah,
in
Idris
2021,
yeah.
That's when the father died. So
he actually went to war with,
absolutely. So
he
here
was in the battlefield.
Here, of course, you will have that veneer of democracy. People will get up and go and vote. But we've known for a very long time that if an incumbent truly wants to rig something, they can find a wherewithal to do it.
There.
Absolutely. So you're going to have those allegations and go to court and all the rest of it. But it looks like he's going to sit in power, perhaps only to be removed afterwards by another coup.
Yeah, that's the only way. And I contacted a Chadi and I asked him how was Deby able to actually pull the crowd there, considering that a lot of citizens are disgruntled. So he informed me that most of the individuals who are there are paid equivalent to $400 in Gambia, and then given a T-shirt to just sit there and participate. That also shows the level of poverty for a country that is, that has mineral resources that can be used to develop the country with, that huge level of poverty. It's very unfortunate.
I think most leaders understand what their citizens need and how to handle them and how to make them subdue when it comes to certain things they want for themselves. So I think they tend to use those kind of strategy to be able to, handle these people as well. Mr. Mbodj.
I think it's just about hope. When life is just so terrible, it's easy for anybody to come up and represent hope. People are just reaching out for hope, you know what I mean? So you might think that they're being duped. One party would come, dupe them into voting them into office, and they will go in and enrich themselves, leaves, and the other one comes along, dupes them into all sorts of things. But it's just sort of a crying out for hope. So you have this huge demand for democracy and good governance and the like, and very short supply of it all. So that's really what it represents, really. Yeah. That's why when you have these coups, it's out of hope. People will support them, hoping that will change the situation.
So it means we are going to live our lives on only hope.
Well, hope is part of it. What is dangerous is just despondency, to be despairing all the time. That is disabling. When you are depressed, then you wouldn't do anything. But with hope, that can enable you. You have enabling ideas and disabling ones. I think hope is enabling, and it's good for people to still have hope. Then that will keep you going. You don't want to give up. If you're going to give up, go kill yourself, man.
So let's take a look at the bar story that she's talking about. We mom haras and you like all of, because I'm sure Banjul ñu dëkk Lasawaf residents yu nekk Lasawaf Banjul ñoo nekk di complain ne dafa am ay bar ay bar yu nekk di dugga ci seen kër yi, so ak ay yeneen reptiles yi nga xam ne daal because ñoom ci boori swampy areas yi lañ dëkka. So fu mu nekk ni loolu lañ nekk di complain di because there's a lot of discomfort and fear among them. So ñu ngi ñaan authorities yi in a way buñ mun a maybe use dara pour daaxa bari or whatever.
I'm on a time, so why would you not know it below on Tobacco Road?
Wow, bari
when they're saying stuff like that.
Bari dañ teacher de bar yu rëy la.
Yes, this is just.
Ay bar yu rëy.
Have you eaten bar before?
No. Yow da nga musa lekk bar?
Oh yes.
Kañ?
Hay. ñun tamit do dañ ko dee lekk.
Bar.
Wow.
You
know what bar is?
Yes.
So Wakombo lan Mr. Mbodj.
Banjul ba
dañ ko dee lekk.
Non bar moom
musuma xalaat loolu.
Bar sa di ko jël di ko leeli di ko lekk.
Dañ ko dee chop. Yeah, I'm sure that they
Why
can
fan?
chop dañ ko
Fan
dee
ngeen
am
daan
na ñoo
chopee
xam ne dañ ko dee chop ñun suñ time xale
chop nga ba
da ngaa gis ne dañ koo dem ñu uti ko te suñ ko téyee dañ ko dee prepare nice so dafa am ñoo xam ne ñooñu noonu this is what they love eating.
Fine, there's nothing wrong with that.
xanaa xamuloo suñ even our these monkeys dañ ko dee lekk.
waaw xam nga
you know that.
Mr. Mbodj.
Big time.
Wow. So why?
But look, there's really nothing to talk about.
Wow. So no, why? This is a very serious story. Understand nga. xam naa ne soo gisee gars yi génn si.
bari waaw dañ
ñu ñëw ñu wax because sonal na leen.
Yes. So
understand.
The relevant public authority.
Yeah.
This is an issue of public health, really, public safety. Let's call it that. So the relevant authorities will know what to do. I don't think that this is anything really huge. Of course, you know, it's a problem, obviously, why government is difficult, you have what to do for their safety, really. So everybody just...
So let's talk about finance a little bit, because JRA signs an agreement to improve efficiency and transparency. So finally, JRA will be going completely digital when it comes to the payments of tax, you know, and custom duties. So, you know, ensuring that all these major leakages that exist will be cut, even though, you know, people can be very innovative too. Even if it is digitally done, they can be innovative to look for ways to still ensure that they, you know, they are corrupt. But with this, at least, you know, it will completely limit the areas where individuals were just, you know, tapping monies from.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, let's just make it difficult. That's
yeah,
really
that's the point.
Thing. You can never really remove all risks. You can never think about all the possible ways that one can steal this or steal that. Yeah. So let's just make it as difficult as possible for anybody to steal from the public coffers. So with the new system, you give it a few years and see how it operates in practice. Yeah. So there are certain judgments we cannot make right now, but only to say that yes, one more step up. Yeah. We want to change everything, digitalize everything. Yeah. Really, the government payments especially. That's important. So we'll see how it works.
Yeah.
Good.
So the People's Progressive Party (PPP) celebrates the 100th birthday of Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara, and part of the recommendations that were made during this particular celebration is to make sure that PPP is actually revived. You know, for it to return to its former glory.
I've heard about all sorts of things, talk like that.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I also suspect that with certain personalities, certain parties, you serve your historical function and you move on. We've seen all over Africa the founding parties. Yeah. When I take, for instance, Senegal, PS. Yeah. They've really shrunk. Yeah. When I look around, the founding parties have shrunk and new ones are coming up. I'm not sure whether PPP will be revived to the level that it was, but perhaps one can learn from how it did politics as a party and what it represented, what had really represented the tolerance and all the rest of it. Maybe the values can move on elsewhere, but the party to come back, I am not so sure. I just haven't seen it around. It's a general trend, I think.
Well, I mean,
So we have Fode Mane, but before that, Mr. Mbodj, you were talking about the fact that you would want to leave eventually. Or do you wish to stay with us?
Well, I suggest letting.
Okay, please, please stay with us. Please stay with us. Let us keep you.
Yeah, let us.
Yeah, you know, we know the schedule is tight on Mondays, but we need you here. So
because I would like us to discuss
moving on, Ibrahima, we have Fode Mane on the line. We will just get back to that immediately after Fode Mane. So Fode Mane is the communications officer at the Brikama Area Council, and at the Brikama Area Council street lights. At the Basse Area Council. Why? Because it's B. At the Basse Area Council, and street lights are being installed at the Basse Area Council, and he'll be talking to us about the perception of citizens after this. you know, where's the money coming from, and, you know, maintenance areas, and the list goes on. So Fode, thank you so much for joining us on this call.
Thank you so much.
Fode, so take us through this particular project of the installation of streetlights in the Basse Area Council.
Yeah, thank you, Jenaba, for having me. Yeah, the streetlight project is one of the projects that has been launched by the Basse Area Council just recently. You know, few weeks ago, the chairman had a rally in the region here, where he had a convergence with the people of the Upper River region.
Right.
And he announced that the streetlight project is upcoming, alongside some of the projects that he also intends to have for the people of the region. Among them is the borehole project, you know, and as well as, you know, the provision of milling machines for women in various communities in the region. So the streetlight project is a recently launched project by the council. It's a council initiative, and here it started already. It is undergoing. The fourth phase starting in a village called Bajakunda, in the Fodekunda ward. In the Bajakunda ward of the Upper River region, and the second phase now ongoing in Basse, as people are seeing the updates on our social media handles. So the project is just launched by the council, and here hopefully it will be extended to many communities within the region.
So is this solar? Are these solar street lights, or what kind of street lights are they?
No. They are not solar powered street lights. They are electricity. We all know, yeah, people will love to have solar powered street lights in Basse because of the heat here. You know, I think that is something that we need to put in consideration. But yeah, we already have these existing electric poles in the region, and yeah, for more than 3 years now, they have not been functioning, you know, for some reason or the other. One can say some of them are not functioning totally because they are spoiled or whatsoever. So, you know, we engage the authorities responsible for electricity in our region. You know, they did an assessment to know, you know, some of the street lights that are not functioning along the streets or even the main highway of Basse, you know. So they were able to assess, and they know the number of street lights available that are functioning and the number of street lights that are not functioning. So based on this assessment, they are able to provide these new street lights for the Basse town.
Yes.
So, you know, they are not solar powered, they are electricity.
Okay, for the Ibrahim Balde here, I would like us to take us through. I mean, you know, are these lights sponsored, or they are coming from the Basse Area Council's coffers?
Yes, this is very clear. These lights are fully sponsored by the Basse Area Council. I mean, you know, every year the council is having a budget that they prepare for the region, you know, and we all know there are 14 wards in the Upper River region. So each of these wards are represented by a councillor. So the councillors will present their, you know, respective ward budget to the council, and the general council will sit over these budgets. They will scrutinize them, and they will see what they can provide for each ward. So for the Basse ward, you know, coincidentally, the Basse ward councillor, you know, presented one of her projects is street lights. And along the way, the chairman also intends to launch this streetlight project for the communities in Basse. So eventually, she was able to benefit on the streetlight. So, you know, this thing is coming, you know, fully from the council. The council is sponsoring it, even though the chairman is calling on, you know, other investors and donors, potential investors and donors, to come forward and support the initiatives to help him and his council in extending this initiative to other communities in the region. We all know how important street lights are if we have them in our community. So, you know, it is fully sponsored by the council.
Yes, okay, I understand it's fully sponsored by the council. But the monies that the council used to purchase these lights, I mean, it's the you know, money from the region itself, the contribution of the people, I mean, the duties that people pay. So at the end of the time, how are we going to know actually this is something that this is what the point that I'm trying to put is accountability. I mean, at the end of the time, who is going to account the council? And at the same time, the council, are they going to communicate to the general public that, okay, this is the money that we put aside for the street lights and these are the invoices. At the same time, this is the amount spent. Because we want to avoid what happened previously. We've seen the commission, we've seen a lot of allegation when it comes to finances and expenditure.
Yeah, that is very right. Accountability is key in whatever the council is doing. And for this council, I can tell you, they came with different, you know. If you are following the Bassi Area Council Facebook page, every general council meeting, because it's mandatory that every month the council should have a general council meeting. And this is where decisions are made. You know, so every general council meeting, they announce it to the public that there is general council meeting this particular day, this particular time, so people will know. And this is where the decisions are made. So people will have the chance to come and sit, even though they will not actively participate, you know, in the general council meeting. So, but they will be able to know, you know, in some of these aspects, like how much they are going to be spending on the street lights, how much they will be spending on milling machines, and how many projects are going in for street lights and boreholes and all of those things, the money involved, they will know everything, everything will be presented. And yet we have done that, you know, when the budget session was done back in January, February, you know, it was published on our Facebook page that, you know, this amount of money will be spent in this particular project and this amount of money will be spent in this particular project. So people will know, yes, the money that they are paying to the council, this is how it is being used, understand? So they will be able to put the council to account.
All right, thank you so much.
Way they spend their money.
Thank you so much for the. That is all we have time for, but we'll keep following developments when it comes to the various initiatives that the Bassi Area Council is implementing, ranging from the street lights to the boreholes and the other areas of interventions. Thank you so much for that brilliant update.
Thank you so much.
So shortly, we are also trying to reach Mamadou Lamin Choi, who's currently on tour with President Adama Barrow, and he'll join us shortly on a call to also give us updates in relation to that particular tour, industrial tour by President Adama Barrow. So moving on, Mr. Mboj, let's take a look at CAF and their involvement in agriculture. The Gambia Armed Forces will embark on an agriculture project worth over $85 million. Actually, this conversation has been ongoing, you know, different divergent views when it comes to their involvement in agriculture. So what is your view on this? You know, do you think they should just handle their barracks, or do you think they should intervene when it comes to areas such as agriculture, health, and the list goes on?
It depends on why they're going to get involved in agriculture and what the outcome would be. Of course, conventionally, you know, we want our army to prepare themselves and to protect us from external, this is the key, external aggression. But again, around the world, we've seen armies getting involved in agriculture.
Health, even health.
In health, in all sorts of
sectors
and areas. So I'm not going to dogmatically say yes or no, but perhaps one needs the details for what, how is it going to be done, what's the outcome, what outcomes do we want. So there are many questions and modalities how they're going to do it. Do we have proper accountability mechanisms in place? I think there should be the relevant questions. If it is going to bring some good, why not? But let's look at the details and sort of think about the viability of it.
Yeah, because for example, in countries such as America and other countries, you know, when you're their military base is actually good, you know, enough for them. So sometimes when you want to get in the army, they make sure to get you a specialty is either agriculture, health. You can even be a lawyer and all of that, but you will still be in uniform at the end of the day. But the systems are different, because in Gambia here, some arguments are that we would rather have our army go and further build their capacity more in terms of protecting our territory, in terms of protection internally, and the list goes on, than be distracted focusing on agriculture and other areas. Then if our capacity is good enough to be compared to not obviously those countries, but countries even within the region, then eventually, slowly, they can get into prioritizing other areas.
You see, I don't think the two are mutually exclusive.
Okay.
Just as you said in the U.S.,
yeah.
you go into all these different
that's why
sectors,
I'm saying,
for instance.
Yeah,
yes.
That's why
but you're training, you have the army engineers.
Yeah, sure.
So you have all of this. So the two are not mutually exclusive.
But when it comes to agriculture, it's not something they're going to use within. For example, if you're the health aspect, you can say if you're protecting, if somebody gets shot as a medical person within, you can support the person directly. It's within the army. But there are just certain sectors where it's completely external.
When you go to war, you still have some cooking. That's within the army.
Sure, but here we're talking about the agricultural aspect.
When you're fighting, you have to, So
we can have cook.
The whole thing about it was to feed themselves. I think when I first heard it, there would be bit about to feed themselves, and perhaps the surplus they will sell it,
to the communities.
Like that.
Yes,
so they will always need food.
I understand the point.
I actually support this, but I'm just giving you the view of another person.
I think it should be more diverse. I mean, they should be able to involve themselves in other areas as well. I mean, I think that would be an advantage to the nation as well. Maybe the doctor that we have in the army is only limited within the army, but we also have masoners in the army, I've seen that in the police, the army. But in other countries, it is more diverse, it is more broad. I mean, they have different areas, you focus on different areas. I think that's what Jenna was trying to put up.
You have Mason.
Then say it again.
Manluma mean, Manluma don't mean. Actually, Mandama support Lee. But I'm just the view that I'm bringing on the table has to do with somebody else's, because this came up before and I read about it. This is not the first time this is coming up. It has come up several times. There was a time they tried it and it failed. So because
they've tried.
Try on. I'm not actually. Them no, Astafullah. Trying one. What happened was it was announced that they will be embarking on an agricultural project because the PRO came. So when he came and I asked him,
I remember.
Yeah, what he told me clearly was they couldn't agree on terms based on the partner that they were supposed to work with to do this. So that is how they stopped. So this means they're coming back to do it now properly. I support it, but to another person, they feel like they should build their capacity on the aspect of protecting Gambians rather than distracting themselves with agriculture. That is what another person's argument is. Although I support them doing this, I don't see anything wrong with it. For example, recently we saw the economic mission in the Gambia organize a free health screening, and it was done by the economic individuals themselves because they have health personnel among them, which is okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe here with the agriculture bit, the potential, the other part, the potential of being a sort of commercial venture. You're trying to get partners.
Yes.
I think that is what people are queasy about. Whether the army should be
involved in those things.
Involved in that.
Exactly.
This is essentially a commercial venture. If you're going to have a partner, and then yes, feed yourself, but you will sell. So that element, yes, it makes one feel queasy about it, whether they should be involved in
those
anything
things,
like that, in commercial partnerships and the like, whether they should be involved. It is a legitimate question.
Yeah, it is legitimate. So those were some of the questions, and unfortunately they couldn't agree with that particular partner. So now I guess they have. That is why they're announcing that they'll be going ahead with this project. But like you said, when it is implemented, we'll see if this is able to yield dividends and all of that. So we can judge if we need to, question further when it comes to this particular intervention. But like I said, the president is currently on an industrial tour, and Mamadou Lamin Choi is with the team. But unfortunately, we cannot we cannot reach Mamadou Lamin Choi at this point, who is with the president. But Mr. Boj, what's your take on this? Because normally he does his Meet the People tour, which is completely different, meeting the people in different communities and, you know, talking to them about different projects that are happening. So with this one, it's an industrial tour which started in the Greater Banjul area, visiting a lot of businesses that produce things in large scale, you know, fashion, as you can see. That's a potato production company, and he went to bottled water production companies, juice production companies, and the list goes on to. According to him, he's trying to learn from, you know, investments that are currently ongoing in the country to know areas where his government can intervene when it comes to public-private partnership.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that he's got the picture really through all the reports. So much of what they do, we never see that on TV. But it's good for a politician, for a president. Once in a while you're seeing going around, really. So he knows what the picture is. And at one of the sites that he visited, I think the owner, sort of, was it the potato producers?
The potato one,
and the onion.
The onion ones. When they said that it's the cost, it is so costly to produce them. That is why they're more expensive than the imported ones. I think if we focus on some of these key things, how can we help our industries? So whatever is going to learn from here, we hope that it will focus on that, and then the thinking forward would be about that. And you know that this is connected really to the local content bill.
Yes.
You see, when I heard that person say that, I said, wow, so how can the government help in this? And in economics, in certain circles anyway, what they call protectionism is a bad word. You don't do that. So how can government help small industries to grow, because that is really our priority.
It is,
really,
it is.
In many ways.
And this will filter down to communities with the prices of goods and services.
And to the extent that they will be cheaper to buy. That's how you undercut, isn't it? Imported stuff. You want these things to be cheaper than the imported stuff.
Well, my worry is, I mean, you mentioned, you know, growing them here, processing them, and also selling them can be more expensive than the imported one. So the reason why we are growing, we want it to be cheaper.
Exactly.
At the end of the time. So if at all it is more costly than the one that are imported, then there is a problem.
But that's what they were saying.
The production cost is
electricity.
huge.
We all know what's going on with the electricity. The cost is rising. So this is the key. How can you create conditions that would allow these producers to pay less for the production, so that it will reflect on the prices? It will be cheaper than the imported stuff. That's really the key in the long run.
Yeah, that is. So Mamadou Lamin Choi, I guess, he keeps updating us when it comes to this, and also he visited health facilities across the country with beds, fully equipped health facilities.
Yeah, also, that's one of the priorities, isn't it?
Yeah, one of the priority areas. We just hope that you know, there'll be enough personnel on the ground, because that is where the constraint comes from. Enough nurses, as you can see, fully equipped hospital. Standard. But now it's about getting the individuals, the nurses, the doctors, you know, to be there, the lab technicians, and all of them, who are often a problem to get them to go to these regions due to limited incentives that exist.
So that's it. That's why in our budget, in our national budget, what we allocate to health must go up substantially. Because when you look over the past few years, you know, it's been going up, they've told us, but it must go up substantially so that you can do what you want to do, really. Of course, combined with competent administration. You see, that's a bit of an issue. Competent administration, then you begin to see the outcomes, you know, as I want them to be. So I think that's the key. You spend, and then you use your money well, wisely. So there are different factors that will really give you the outcomes that you want.
True.
Really.
Yeah, so gentlemen, that is all we have time for. But before we leave, Lido Coffee and Olinda Tea and Cow Milk, they are main sponsors at this point, and we really appreciate them. And the coffee is really, really good. Mr. Mboj, I'm sure you've tried it by now. The Olinda tea is also absolutely good. And then the cow milk is also very nutritious. So you can get this from any supermarket in the Gambia, corner shop, or just anywhere that you go, wholesale and retail. So thank you so much to the team at Lido for supporting this program and calling on more sponsors to come on board and support the show. The OIC Secretariats, our contract with them is now over, after we've successfully advertised the summit.
But thank you for being partners.
Yes, thank you for being partners. And we are looking forward to more sponsors to come on the program. Comme niñ ko dee waxee rek ñun fii luñ waxut baaxut.
ñun jaayal yëpp jarle nañ.
ñun jaayal yëpp jarle nañ. waaw so macha allah waaw. te du QTV rek. QTV ba si boppam la ñu tegal la ko fi ba si boppam la ñun ñu waxal la. ba si boppam.
dëgg la
waaw mu jeex tak.
advantage booy am. ñu tegal la ko nga gis ko. ba pare
personnalité si
jeena ba Balde Mbodj ale ñu wax ko.
dafa yomba sax ñi price buñ leen tegal sax dafa yomba parce que man rek tey ku ma war a ekati individual man mi tegu nii su dut QTV ma privately pour ma waxal la ñoom xam nañ naka la dee demee
ndaw wax bu seer
ñoom xam nañ wax boobu dafa seer loolu du dee yomba ñi ko jëflante ak man xam nañ ñu dee demee
soo buggee quality
waaw da ngaa génnee
xaalis soo buggee lu baax ni ñuy góom la
waaw
da ngaa génne lu baax
waaye léegi QTV may la pour Jeynaba Sonko ak Ibrahima Balde waxal la
loolu mooy advantage yi ñëw QTV
ak tamit nga teg ko fii si lu yomb
waaw teg ko fii rek ñun ñu def ko
yéen tamit ñëw leen ngeen join ko
it's an opportunity of a lifetime
mu jeex tak te ku ko am grab ko waaw fu mu nekk nii nag ñu indu ak jaama ba ëllëg inshallah thank you so much have a nice day